You guys are asking all the tough questions here. You know, that's such a loaded question. The internet will explode if I gave a direct answer. This is one of those questions that I know you guys like to ask hard questions and put me in these spots for your YouTube channel, but I'm going to answer it like this. I'm going to answer it in a breakdown. I mean, who's the best in what era? Who's the best now? I mean, you look at it now. Let's just, we'll start years ago. We'll start analyzing who's most winning, who's had the best record, and it just came out. You guys actually dropped it. WrestlingPlus.com. Wild Man has the best record in RWF since 2015. He's had the most success. His win-loss ratio is fantastic. I mean, he's well over. His wins are just incredible, and he's won all the big ones. Excuse me. So we could say Wild Man's the best in that regard. I mean, and we could go on and on. I mean, we could talk about Mitchell Fatal. You could argue Mitchell. A lot of people will argue Mitchell Fatal, and I respect that. It's not my pick, but you could argue Mitchell Fatal. He's had the most championship titles. He's had the most championship title reigns. We're not just talking about European. We're talking about 24/7 Intercontinental Hardcore Championship. We're talking about U.S. Championship. We're talking about just, and the list goes on. Clearly the best cruiserweight champion of all time. No question there. Defended it for 18 years. So if you could talk about how many championships we go off of him, if we want to go off of who's had championships the longest, we can talk about Dave. We can certainly talk about Dave. Dave had the European Championship, the longest reigning European champion in history. His reign was, he's been a multi-time European champion, but his last reign was longer than all 5 of Mitchell Fatal's combined. We could argue that Dave's the best. There's a lot to be said in that. And then we can talk about money. Let's talk about the draw. Let's talk about ticket sales. Chad the Shad. Chad the Shad's a juggernaut in ticket sales. Chad the Shad's a juggernaut in marketing. I mean, you want to talk about who sold the most T-shirts in the early 2000s? You want to talk about who's still selling a lot of T-shirts? We can talk Chad the Shad. And I'm not belittling his championship. He's a multi-time European champion. But you could argue he's the best. He's made a lot of money. Ridiculous amounts of money. His income just based off of T-shirt sales alone. You could base it off of that. In fact, look, financially, it's very arguable that Chad the Shad's the best out there. And he was a juggernaut in the ring. Not just at the ticket booth. We go on and on. We talk about modern times. We talked about McMac. I could go more in depth about that. Excuse me. McMac, we could argue he's the best. Or some would say Urban Jump right now. In Urban Jump is coming up. He's the European champion. Some could say him because he's the current champion. We look at all this and we look at personal favorites. Who do I think is the best all around? Who do I think is the best? Amazing Hazen for me personally. I think he's the best. He has the most charisma. He was a huge draw. Big main eventer. The Revolver. He's been European champion. Now he's world travel. He's been all over the world now. He's really built himself up since he has his contract with RWF that allows him to go out and still compete in other wrestling organizations, and it's been very successful. So we're talking about a guy who's now competed all over the world, a guy who's had titles all over the world, and to me, that is arguably what makes the best in the world. He's been all over the world. We talk about these other guys who've had success here, just here. Amazing, he's been all over the world. I would argue he's the best. Has he had the most championship titles? No. Has he had the longest reigns? No. Did he draw the most money? No. But he's world tested, world renowned, the Revolver. Of course, it's a shoot interview, so shoot me. I'm not trying to insult him with any of that. Because to me, he is the best. His world travels in the last couple of years. I already knew it before he initially left after Doomsday Clock. I knew if he left RWF, I thought it was the right move. And I thought it could be what would prove to everybody what makes the Amazing Hazen the best wrestler in the world. Yeah, the news that Wildman was offered a very lucrative, easier contract with Pride of the Mask a couple years ago, and he turned it down to stick with RWF after Squared Circle took over. Now we look at it and go, well, was the right move? I mean, and I would say, sure, he probably lost out on a lot of money not going, right? Stuck with the RWF when money was down. A lot of loyalty there. RWF has been the place where even before he had we talked about it earlier, before he had the European Championship, he had a lot of success. But he did leave a lot of money on the table. So it was a mistake for him to stay. Or was it a mistake to not go? I don't know, because the Wild Man, I guess it depends on what your flavor is. Is Pride of the Mask your flavor? Because I think that down in Latin America, we talked about the floundering roster of Pride of the Mask. If Wild Man was there and it was Wild Man McMack, can you imagine? I'd love to call that. I'd love to analyze that. That would have been huge. They would have made a ton of money. I mean, I can't speak for the Wild Man, but I think he wanted that European Championship, the most prestigious, and in my opinion as well, the most prestigious title in all of sports. I think he wanted that. You can only imagine he wanted it. Why would he have left all that money on the table and turned Pride of the Mask down to re-sign exclusively with RWF? I have no doubt that he may be the Latin American champion. I don't think we've ever seen Wildman versus McMack. I mean, the thought of it is so exciting. I mean, but we got what we got, and I don't think that he's disappointed. I think cut and run after he lost the European Championship, so he's still here. As far as I know, he re-signed. Again, his contract was coming up. He re-signed. He wanted to represent RWF in the Total Action Guarantee tournament. So no, I think he's an RWF guy through and through. As you guys analyzed before, and we've gone over, Wildman he's no slouch. A former Metropolitan champion of Seattle Championship Wrestling. For me, top title. I mean, he was a top guy in his own right before RWF, but in Latin America, oh my gosh, it would have been great to see. But I think he made the right move. I know he's taken a lot of hits on base salary. Well, he's made a lot of that up in appearances. He's recently, I saw him down in WrestlePlex in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. A lot of people wanted to see him. Big draw. But it was a mistake. Money over legacy. Money over devotion, loyalty. I mean, yeah. What do you say? You know, we talk about that, and we talk about other guys who have come and gone or who've stayed. I mean, there's some guys who just lead loyalty. Yeah, I mean, we could go over a lot of guys who were offered contracts. It's come out now. Their contracts were exclusive contracts were offered. Of course, they wanted Amazing Hazen. Amazing Hazen said, "No, I'll take a few spots here and there, but I can't wrestle for you exclusively. I have other things to accomplish and achieve." Mitchell Fatal, which, you know, I think they tongue-in-cheek that because they know he wouldn't accept. And his number was huge, too. Huge. But he decided to eat boxed macaroni and cheese, I guess, and stay with RWF. Hasn't worked out. He's been Baron Legendary 7.